to Bullet Bill's Big 3. I'm your host, Baron Marth, and I'm joined, as always, by the man of the hour, the one and only Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Cool. So, Bullet Bill's Big 3, it's the news, it's the wrap-up, it's the roundup of the week. It's all of your gaming interests right here. We take it in turns, we bring a bounty each to the table, we lay it out, and then we go head-to-head on a little bonus bounty. Whoever gets the tastiest bounty gets a score. And today, Link's been thrashing me.
Yeah, 6-3 so far.
Brutal.
It's getting to somewhat of a baseball score.
Yeah, it's getting unrecognisable at this point. How the comeback
insurmountable.
All right, yeah, brutal.
Maybe.
Okay. So anyway, starting off, we're going to throw the first couple of bounties out there. Link, you're going to start us off. What you got?
Nintendo. Obviously, they had their Splatoon 2 Direct, but they've also showed off and announced the release date of their smartphone online app.
Yeah, so we knew it was coming this year.
Yeah.
Now we know when.
We knew it's the summer, and obviously with Splatoon 2 due a mere week or two away.
Yeah.
It's a perfect opportunity to unravel it.
War.
So yeah, they've showed it off. It's, like I said before, it's for their online connection service. So this is obviously how you're going to connect to parties and voice chat with your friends over Switch.
Yeah, it's their way of getting around this shit.
Yeah. But to be fair though, looking at the power of the Switch, you probably don't want any less taken away from the Switch.
Okay, I'm going to say one thing right now. I'm just going to put it out there. It's my thoughts. It's my political hat in the arena, if you will. I'm saying the only reason Nintendo did this is to fucking save costs on the network.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean, if you look at where their strengths lie, it's making quirky games. I don't think it's making networks. I mean, look at how long it took Sony to get into gear, really, with it. Because the PSN, when it first started, was a bit ropey for me. But now it's pretty...
But they've all been, even Xbox.
Xbox is the most secure, it wasn't secure, was it? It was the most consistent. Or some other...
Consistently attacked.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the app.
Yeah,
so
big M.
Yeah, it seems that it's going to contain Splatnet inside the app. So this will be specific to Splatoon 2.
Right.
So it will show off some of the stage... it will show off the stage schedule, because it's not like on a playlist and it could be random. They'll do set levels and you'll go through and you can see what's coming up with the salmon runs. And
okay.
So it seems that Nintendo they're going to go for individual game sort of lobbies inside the app. Which
so
I think
apps in apps. Oh man.
I think that's not a bad idea though, because if you look at, they've got rid of Miiverse, haven't they? But they've almost, because you can integrate with smartphone apps, obviously messaging services, social networking. It kind of all brings it an easier to bring all that together. Yeah,
man, if they can drop it all in one place, I guess. As long as it's smooth and it works, it's not really slow and onerous.
Which I think, being on a smartphone, is possibly the best route for Nintendo to go.
But knowing Nintendo, if they get their hands on it, it will be slow and onerous.
Maybe, but again, it's free until 2018, so we can't really complain until then.
Oh, watch me.
But no, I think it's an interesting way that you'll see like a Mario Kart one will pop up, other ARMS maybe, some other multiplayer stuff, online stuff. So I think it's not a bad way to go, because you can, like, looking at already on the test run, the Splatoon test run, because they had that this week, didn't they? Loads of the Miiverse stuff, all of the lobby system that Splatoon had, that everybody loved, and you see all these really random quirky messages, is still carrying on inside Splatoon 2. So there's still elements of what made it great on the Wii U sort of brought forward, and hopefully we'll see some of that integrating into their app, because a lot of people were disappointed that the Miiverse wasn't on the Switch. So we might see the integration of it now.
I'll be honest with you, I mean, it's great that they're sort of like filling the space and sort of transposing some of the stuff from the previous game over into this one. That's great. But what I would say is, I don't miss Miiverse at all, because it's not that impressive. Nintendo just always feel like they're just trying to get close to what somebody else has already completely thrashed to death.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is the fact that it was always very sort of closed off, wasn't it? If the Miiverse wasn't, because it was supposed to come to smartphones. Remember in the bloody Wii U one, it was like, oh yeah, you can do it all on the app. What app? What web portal?
Yeah,
there isn't one, and it was supposed to be that you can still keep in contact, because you can't take your whole Wii with you unless you want to sit on a train with a TV and your Wii U plugged in, and hopefully you sort of guarding the sockets like a fucking madman.
But don't worry, because you've also got a portable tablet to worry about.
Exactly. So it's
amazing.
There's all of those kind of things.
Cool.
But, you know, they've shown it off. It's 21st of July. I didn't actually even mention the release date. But
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that.
It's the same date as Splatoon 2. So
not too far away.
no, so we can critique it and see how it runs. But the beauty of us being a smartphone app, it doesn't cost them lots of money, or it's easy for them to update.
They're tight.
You know, that's how they've still got one of the biggest cash reserves in like technology businesses. Full stop.
The big end is thrifty.
Yeah, well, you know, that's how they haven't gone out of business. Sega, obviously, teetering on the edge as what they were.
Cool. Well, look, shifting over to our second bounty for this week, I know what you're thinking. You've been missing that sort of full QWERTY experience on the Switch. I mean, yes, you do have it on the screen. Yes, there's a touch screen keyboard, but you're thinking, I'm missing the feeling of, like, you know, dirt build up on buttons and stuff like that.
I'm thinking back to the good old days of yesteryear, the GameCube era, when you had such games as Phantasy Star Online where voice communication wasn't a thing.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because in the article where they were discussing it on Polygon, they also drew out the amazing ASCII keyboard for Phantasy Star Online, which was basically a GameCube controller keyboard.
Yeah, where it's basically sort of, if you used to stretch Armstrong the GameCube controller and make enough space for a full-size QWERTY with the number lock buttons and all of that, everything, like the function keys.
And then some joysticks and shoulder buttons on the edge of it.
Yeah, so it's like a whole keyboard inside a GameCube controller.
What I particularly
this has got me intrigued.
Well, what I particularly liked is they actually curved that as well. So they made it almost like it was a big controller with a QWERTY keyboard whammied in the middle of it.
It's almost just like a mutated GameCube controller. It's brilliant.
Fear not, because the people at Cyber Gadget have got your back. What they've done is they've taken...
We are in July, aren't we? This isn't April.
No, this is genuine, right? So, I mean, admittedly, mostly available in Japan at the moment, but I'm sure it will port over at some point or another. But you can get a full keyboard with 2 slots on either end of it for your Joy-Cons, and bam, you've got a Joy-Con keyboard, a QWERTY Joy-Con. You've got a QWERTY keyboard.
I think you just have to go for a JKG.
Yeah. Amazing. Now then, you're thinking, what's...
No, JKC.
JKC, man. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
But you're thinking, what can I play on? Well, you know, things like Dragon Quest X is going to have chuck functionality. But am I going to be doing this through my phone? Am I going to be doing it on a keyboard? Who knows? But I know you're excited. I'm excited.
To be fair though, I think the funny thing about this is I think it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, that someone was saying that they really would like how easy would it be, or how difficult would it be to just, you know, put 2 little controller ports, because essentially you could just reverse engineer the little clips you get for the shoulder buttons.
Yep.
So, you know, just basically duct tape 2 of them to the fucker.
Yep.
Joy-Con.
Boom.
Yeah. Obviously you've got to try and get it to work with it. But yeah, you know, there's some clever people that know electronics and stuff.
Electrical,
Wizardry.
Magic. Yeah, I'm sure they'll work it out.
These heretics.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing that I like the most about it is this whole thing of, okay, so I've now got a controller which basically looks like Knight Rider's steering wheel, but if I've got my hands on the analogs and the shoulder buttons, who's typing?
Well, no, because you could do it one-handed, but then if you've got to see how difficult is that, you
right.
sort of be there.
So
balance.
This is where I'm going with it. So can you imagine sort of the thumb and wrist strength you're going to have holding that thing by one knee? Oh, so balance
you take
on one
knee, type it out, and bang, back in.
Type out wanker whilst using the left analog. Yeah.
I reckon it could be done.
This shit doesn't work. But anyway, there we go. So second bounty of the week, it's out there, it's available.
Well, I'm going to quote Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Some fucking idiot will buy it.
Well, again, you got, like, say, stuff like Xenoblade, and I reckon, to be honest, it will probably be easier to use that than the convoluted voice chat set up that if you want to hear the in-game audio through your headphones.
Look, Nintendo will have it really simple. That what you'll have to do is you'll have to sign into their network on your game, and then sign into their network on their app, and then pair the phone with the game's console.
Yeah.
And then once that's done, you'll be able to easily have delayed conversations between the video game you're playing and some people who you finally managed to connect through the app, because it was just as difficult as connecting through the app than it would have been just straight through the console. And boom, you're sorted.
I like the idea that they've got a mobile. Sorry, we're going back to that, aren't we?
Yeah.
I've just had a thought. Why didn't they just like chuck in a little tiny Raspberry Pi kind of computer into the actual console for the home base? So you've got it does it all on the console, so you can just go Bluetooth headset. Hey.
No.
Nintendo, because we've had this before. We reckon that some people are listening in.
Yep.
Like Rockstar have listened in and they're like, oh shit, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
Best do it now.
Silver spoon.
Or, tin hat time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if they're listening, which they should be.
Take note.
Yeah.
Take note.
Add a little fucking proper little bit to the console, to the dock. Actually add something that makes it worth 90 quid.
Whoa. Hold on. It's that out there thinking which is really going to take this company in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Right, so there we go, 6-3. It's over to bonus bounty time. And this time, I'm walking cocky. I'm walking smug.
You're walking cock.
Yeah.
I won't ask how your evening went last night.
Well, what can I say, don't you know? Bonus bounty, it's mine. And my bonus bounty for this week is Speedrunner, and I can just only apologise for the pronunciation of your gamer tag, but AgeNeb174, but better
Could it
known
just be
as...
AJ Neb?
Maybe, but better known as Ben. Smashed out Final Fantasy VII.
So have you seen it's Ben backwards? Benja.
Maybe it's Benja. Anyway, sorry Benja. Yeah. But anyway, Ben smashed it out in less than 8 hours. I mean, this guy absolutely hooned it.
Well, I think it wasn't necessarily the speed in which he's done it.
Not record breaking, but it just absolutely just had this thing down pat. I mean, we're talking about like memorizing all sorts of like little intricacies of the game, routing, like loads of like. So because this was basically a social event, so he was sat on the sofa.
Games Done Quick, wasn't it? The charity event that ran a couple of weeks back.
Yeah. So basically, they had a sofa set up in front of this thing where 3 gamers sat there whilst Ben mashed it out with a host of people sat behind him watching him, and frankly, I mean, just the complexity. They had to make sure that when they were doing this, that it wasn't going to fail halfway through. This thing had to actually complete. So some of the routing that they had to think of, just in case something happens in a certain place at a certain time, how they would react to that. And
well, you look at to do that.
Crazy stuff.
Most games, it's a proposition in itself. Like taking something as simple as Mario, to try and sort of speed run that to not fail or to do it under certain conditions is tough. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is another one, a big massive game. But Final Fantasy VII,
well, they said
a game that you could easily lose 100 hours into.
Oh, easily, yeah. I mean, it's how long will it take.com averages it at about 38.5. So, it's no small bit of gameplay they're talking about doing. But what I found really interesting was sort of throwaway comments like, they were considering minor details like, the step counter. How many steps has Cloud made? Because what it does is it influences when you're actually going to engage an enemy.
Yeah.
So what they do is they then manipulate the step count to make sure that they don't face certain or they avoid certain battles.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's just a minor thing we're considering to smash this through.
There was that one as well, wasn't it? Where they fought that enemy. Obviously, it wasn't a consequential battle, but they instantly wiped.
Yeah.
Just because it will save time.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, no, that's a pointless battle. It doesn't do anything.
We don't do any of these missions.
No, and it was amazing, like you say, just to see the complexity, because this is months and months of research and planning and an immense amount, and thankfully obviously it was done under a good cause. It's obviously raised scours of dollars for various.
Right up there, so you see the cash like racking up as again. And I mean, was it 7 hours, 48 minutes?
Something like that, yeah. The final sort of chop.
Yeah.
And it was.
And some really sort of good attitudes all the way through. Like they kept it fun, light-hearted. You had the squatting event halfway through where Cloud does his exercise. Everybody was up, giving it the squats.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those. I think these kind of things it's something that we've got to delve into on an Uncharted, like the speedrunning community, because it's not just a case of doing it as fast as you can. I mean, it's
such a meta game, isn't it?
You've got the 100% completions, then any percentage, the ones that you're allowed to use glitches, ones that you've got to do it properly, and all of it's a minefield of various rule sets, and
they're nuts, man, but nuts in a great way.
Yeah, I mean, it's taking game to the very extreme limits of what you can do.
So if you get an opportunity, go check it out. Absolutely amazing stuff. So there we go. We're going to count that as 6-4 now.
Yeah, it's 6-4 indeed.
Come back, kid. He's en route. Watch this space. So let's shift on over to the roundup. This is where we pick up all the little bounties. I'm going to run a few to ground. What have you got, Link?
Well, obviously the commiserations to IGN first scoop of Destiny 2's new social space.
Yeah. Fuck Destiny 2. Sorry.
I mean, it's it's one of those. It was obviously the farm they've talked about at E3, their Destiny event. Obviously, it will have NPCs and other things sort of coming and going, so it has this story effect.
Social space, isn't it? Destiny 2.
Obviously, it will still have the postmaster, cryptarch, all of that jazz, and various ways to take more of your money. But an actual football pitch or soccer pitch, which keeps score.
Yeah, it's football.
Yeah, and chickens.
Nice.
Yeah. They've also talked about what's going on in the beta as well. What's going to be included. So obviously this is the open and closed beta. Obviously it's closed from the 18th till the 21st. And then from the 21st till the 23rd it becomes an open beta. This includes, it's basically what was shown off at E3. So you've got the 2 PvP modes, you've got the inverted spy strike, and the homecoming mission. So not a great deal, but they're just doing it to test the servers. But they are doing on Sunday the 23rd from 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. British Standard Time, or British Summer Time. Yeah. Sorry, a public test on the farm. So they want to try and get as many people in there as they can. Obviously, they've upped the count of how many can be in at the same time, which is 26 now.
Ooh.
From 16, I think it was before.
Great, so you just get to walk around and dance in front of people, yeah?
Pretty much. Or play football. And maybe, I don't know if they're going to copy Fable and you can be able to kick chickens, but I doubt it because, Peter. I don't know. For me, it's just, I look at Destiny 2 and I just can't help but think how long is the consensus that it's just a slightly larger expansion? Like the Taken King was Destiny 2.0.
Yeah.
Well, didn't then they put a number on it then? They didn't have to change the story. I don't know. I'll jump in on the open beta, have a couple of games on the missions, because Destiny is a good fun game to play.
If I can complete Destiny 2 just on the open beta, that'd be great. Just get it mashed out real quick.
Well, hopefully it's not sort of mirroring the first beta, which was like a fifth of the game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it might just get like...
Say, there's 3 strikes. Moving on. I think this is probably the best way to shut it down. Tiny Tracks. It's an interesting one from Future Lab. That was their Scalextrics VR game. That's due on the 25th of July. That's exclusive to PSVR.
So there's a game which you're probably not going to puke whilst you're playing.
No, but it looks mental though. Like virtual reality.
No, but you won't puke and you've got Scalextrics.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Obviously, that's the trademark name, so other slot car racing is available.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
We've seen some unofficial... Again, I've got this acronymed because I can't be bothered to say it, but the X.box, the Xbox X, just Xbox. I'm just going to start calling it the Xbox now because it's their big dog.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to get beefy on that. Anyway, carry on.
It's just because it looks like that.
Yeah, but it's just you might as well just call it an Xbox now because they all do the same thing anyway.
Exactly, it plays all of the Xbox games. Which is what I go for. So obviously benchmarks. They've done some unofficial ones, and they've shown off the power of it.
And
it's quite powerful.
Really?
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
All right.
Certain games that were running at 1080 and taking this much GPU, now they're running at 4K on the Xbox, and they're only taking this much GPU. So it's quite a bit more powerful. What we thought.
Right. Cool.
Speaking of
Good
more
for it.
power, Michael Patch is back.
The patch attack.
The patch attack.
Where's
Well,
Patch
obviously,
been?
yeah.
What's he been doing?
As you so rightfully informed me earlier, it kind of Michael Patcher went away when games trailers did,
Yeah.
because they were the only ones prepared to give him a platform.
Yeah, so every week he'd wade in there and say, financially speaking, this game will come out then.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, what? That's one thing this industry is not willing to talk about sort of up front. Nobody gives a fuck about what the fiscal year is. We know why they do it, but nobody really talks about it.
No.
But anyway, what's Patch been saying?
So he's claiming the PS5 will drop in 2019.
Oh, he's back doing it again, isn't he?
Yeah, it's not really, because you look, when was it 2014? So PS4's 2014, last year was PS Pro, so that's 2.5, 3 years. Yeah, it's not an obvious leap.
Patch is just like, he just looks at financial cycles, I guess, goes, counts 4 years or 8 years along and goes, I foresee this is going to happen. Well,
Yeah.
of course it is. It's like saying I see another iPhone coming out
In 6 months.
within a year or so. You know?
Exactly,
So
yeah.
it's like, it's incredible, Patcher.
Yeah,
But,
good work. Good work. But good news though, Thimbleweed Park is coming out on not PS4 but the Switch. So it's going mobile.
Super subtle tweeting.
You can go. Oh, it's great from Ron Gilbert.
Yeah.
You've got to love it.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think he was taking the piss at the 1-for-1 101.
Yeah, I think so.
Which we'll get to in a moment. But yes, it's come to Switch. Good, you can go play it in the park.
Nice.
Irony. Champion's Ballad, which is the second or final, I don't know if it's the final DLC for Breath of the Wild, but they've shown off a few details of that, shown off some stuff, some early screens and video, I think it was. But it's confirmed you will play as Link. So obviously it was rumoured that it may be Zelda or one of the other champions, but no. Xbox One gifting feature is coming soon, or, according to Mike Ybarra, not far off.
Not far away.
So Gamescom's around the corner. Probably get announced then, I'd imagine.
Finally, you can buy other people's games for them.
Finally, Marv, you can buy me the games that you want me to play.
You will play this game. I've surrounded
You've got no excuse now.
I've surrounded your dashboard. I've taken over the whole of
Oh,
your
it's going to
front
be
dashboard.
horrendous. It's going to be like, you will play Galgun Double Piece.
Pin it to your home.
Oh, that's going to be annoying, isn't it? Pin to their home.
Yeah.
Oh. Speaking of home, PlayStation Now is getting 50 PS4 games added to the current list, which, is good news for the service.
That's not bad, actually. It's not a bad little number, is it?
I think the PS Now service is quite a good little boost.
Let's be honest.
move.
Look at PlayStation Plus. If we trust Sony to carry on doing what they're doing, they'll make that a worthy investment at some point.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of person who's just on one platform, I would be tempted to go, well, bollocks, here we go.
It's one of those, isn't it? You know that you're stuck to your Xbox. That is your system.
Pretty much, yeah.
You might have picked up a Switch, but there's some really great PlayStation games.
Yes.
There's some unbelievable games that you know are never going to come out. They're probably going to turn up on the PS Now service. So yeah, I can sort of for 5 or 6 months just get my fix on all the games I want to play.
Plus
cancel
is
the
such good value, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
unbelievable.
I went onto Xbox and it was just like, it's this game for the Xbox One and it's this game for the 360, and guess what? You get a bonus free game worth £7. It was like growing up, and I was like, great. And then I went to the PlayStation store, and admittedly I did it on my phone, so it means it picks up all the different categories. But at some point I have owned all the consoles and very well could easily pick up a PlayStation 3 if I wanted to. It was just like 8 to 10 games or something, and it was like I added them all to the basket and got to the end. It was like £99 and 97 pence or some shit like that, and it was like minus £99 and 90. It was like, it's £100 worth of games. Yes, I want that for free.
Yeah, I don't care that I'm never going to play them or even have a system to play them on.
Not to the point.
But yeah,
you're
they're
giving
mine.
me free games, which I know if I wanted to, I could go and play.
I remember it was years and years ago, just after the first couple of years after it started, a website, I think it was the Six Axis, actually went through and tracked back just on the European side how much it was all worth. So for I think it would have been £80 for those 2 years. It's £3,000 worth of stuff, obviously including discounts and other various bits and bobs, but £3,000 worth of content for £80. Like every person I knew that had a PS3, I was like, why haven't you got Plus? So, there's £40 and you don't have to pay it to get the multiplayer. It's like, yeah, but you get loads of shit. You get like £3,000 worth of stuff. even if it's just 2 months out of that whole year,
even if
you get
you're only
something
interested
that you
in
want.
200 quid's worth,
Exactly.
you just saved yourself £120.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's good news for the PlayStation Now users. Some really good good news for potential Platinum fans is Wonderful 101.
Wonderful 101. It's 101.
Yeah. Is being teased for the Switch.
Yeah.
So Platinum Games have been doing a bit of teasing via Twitter recently. Obviously, a couple of days before, or a few days before, there was the Bayonetta teases.
Mm-hmm.
Just little bits of artwork for Bayonetta. And then again, likewise earlier this week, I can't remember with it. Well, it's their normal social account. But yeah, they teased a little image of the crew from 101 all playing 101, but with Switch controllers, not with a Wii U gamepad.
But the thing is, right? I mean, so let's get this right. This is the one which was on the Wii U.
The Wii U sort of, was it launch title or launch window title?
Launch window title, yeah. Quite. Well, yeah, actually wasn't that early actually, but it's kind of like where they were trying to find some sort of Beautiful Joe-esque thing, but with a big group of people smashing.
I suppose if you'd have to sort of say, it's kind of, if you were to smash Beautiful Joe together and Pikmin.
Yeah, it's like artwork, close to, or design beautiful, gameplay.
The character design was done by the same chap.
Aha.
So there's obviously that link. I believe so anyway, don't quote me on that. That's probably
sounds right, because it's really similar stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got the gameplay very Pikmin-esque, like you say, group come together, make a big fist, smash somebody in the face.
I mean, it was an interesting game.
Nice idea.
I think now that they've obviously had the time to look back at it and seen the reviews of it and seen what they...
It got no traction, did it?
No, but I think it was... Because what was released, there wasn't really a great deal though. It wasn't any major Nintendo hit. It's like, it wasn't like a Zelda that just gone, yeah, everything else can fuck off.
It just didn't...
No, it didn't gain, like, say, any traction, did it?
No.
But I think it has sort of gained somewhat of a cult status and its quirkiness and, like you said, the character design.
Well, enough to get it re-released on the Switch.
Or teased at least.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of these, they're dropping the little bait out to see who they can hook.
I always found the control systems on that. It's like, if you ever played a game like Clay Fighters or something like that, where you were playing as like a floating fist or some hands, which, where you press punch and the fist, you never really got a feel for like
there's no
where you are, where your body is.
You're not grounded to a centre of gravity. As it were.
What's the hitboxes or anything like that? Yeah, weird.
It is a strange one, but it's good to see just more games coming out on the Switch.
Yeah, where are all the ports for the Switch?
Yeah, more Wii U games. That's what we need.
Got to send them somewhere.
And this is one I know that you will be extremely happy to hear. Developers of the free-to-play title League of Maidens.
Yes,
they have addressed the top item of the community's.
I've been emailing them for weeks, saying, guys, come on now, this is obvious. It's League of Maidens. Where are my
jiggle physics?
Yeah, where's my jiggling titties?
Well, because if you've got someone flying around, look. I suppose we should just give a little background. League of Maidens is a free-to-play. I suppose you can't really nail it down to
online kind of style.
It's an MMO, but it kind of does everything. Like all of the main online popular games, all of those genres. So you've got like MOBA with your battle lanes. You've got free first-person shooters. You've got transforming fucking vehicles. You've got flying sections. It's pretty much a free-to-play everything. It's the Buddha of games.
But just with women in thongs.
But they didn't have... Oh yeah, obviously the heroines. But yeah, they didn't have any jiggle physics, which obviously the community was in uproar about. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of us were really pissed. I mean, we were saying, look, whilst I'm staying at home, pale-skinned and imagining what women really aren't like, why aren't we jiggling?
Yeah.
So, many of us got together, and I can't keep this going any longer. I mean, somebody worried about some digital titties not wiggling in the wind, and got all shitty, and they actually had to react and make them move.
The developers have gone, oh really?
Do you remember when you saw like Soul Calibur for the first time? You're like, that's ridiculous. One, they're not. That's ridiculous. And two, the fact that they move like that is
even more ridiculous, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
In the same way that Tekken producer Sam.
Oh yeah.
Come out and explained the android fighters why her breasts jiggle like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just gratuitous jiggling.
Yeah,
they're shock absorbers. There's a point and a reason for that. Like the same way that Quiet had, from Metal Gear Solid 5, she had some parasite that overheated her body. So she had to wear as little as possible to keep her body temperature down.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, these are reasons for these things. They're
Yeah.
not just gratuitous examples of male fantasies.
Was it Keeper's Run or whatever it is, where you've got to strip the clothing off them?
Oh yeah, Keeper's Beat. Yeah,
that was it. Yeah.
Well, just all of those are Keeper games that are all just like that. The central premise is, the vampires, kind of digital vampires. And they don't like light.
Sunlight is required. Yeah.
Well, exposing sunlight to skin.
Yeah.
So. That's the end of the roundup.
That's it. You've done enough.
That is the final nail in the coffin.
That is Bullet Bill's Big 3. There it is, folks. That's all you need to hear.
Big 2.
Big, massive. It's like some sort of carry-on roundup at the end here.
Get the Sid James in there.
Give me some of the. Actually, that'd be amazing. I need some Sid James at the back of it. That'd be amazing.
Do you know he was South African?
Really?
He wasn't a Cockney.
Nice guy.
On that note.
Right, so there we are, folks. If you like what you heard, show us some love. You know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, listen to the podcast. So from Angry Link, it's
Adios.
and from me, I'm out. And peace.